Welcome to episode 6 of the Critical Hit podcast, the home for anything and everything Pokemon. I am one of your hosts, Pancake Wizard 12, and I'm brought to you with, today we have Monk, Kyogre, and Shady. We're a little light on the hosts, but that's okay because that means we get to play some Showdown today. So if you are on YouTube and you're watching, that'll be fun. So if you guys want to say hello, all your stuff.
You know what they say, quality over quantity.
Oh, you're making her make West upset, man.
See, and my monkey brain goes quantity over quality.
The more people we have, the better it'll be.
Exactly.
That's all I had to say. Welcome everybody.
Welcome everybody to the Critical Hit podcast.
So today we've got a couple things on the bulletin board, metaphorically. We're going to talk about Legends, the things that we like and dislike, things that we want to see in the next Pokemon game, the next Legends game if they make one, kind of like where we want it to be set, the things that we want to see brought to the new one, the things that we want to see left behind, as well as Pokemon remakes, and then talking about why making Pokemon games harder would be cool and why there are so many fan games that are difficult. So we got a couple fun little topics to talk about today. Hope you guys are excited. If you are on YouTube, smash the like button because we would really appreciate it.
That was a very nice segue. Let's go ahead and hop into the first topic.
I wonder how many weeks it's going to be until we get through the point of I do a segue and then you guys are like, that was really nice. Okay, let's.
I don't think that'll ever stop. I think that'll permanently be a part of this culture.
That's fine. That's okay. So if they do another Legends game, what region do you guys want to see them do next?
I think Gen 5 makes a lot of sense, just logically. The region has a interesting history, I feel like.
With Legends Victini or something?
I don't know. I'm not sure what exactly the story would be or the legendary would be, but
or Johto. Awesome.
I was gonna say either Gen 5 or 6, maybe. Just because 6 kind of already has it set up.
Yeah, Gen 6 would be cool. That'd be awesome. Actually, get to go back and see the war and stuff, the birth of AZ.
Yeah.
I want Gen 3. That's personally. I just
that's fair.
I want to see the original Kyogre versus Groudon fight. Yeah. I think that'd be sick.
Nice.
That's what I mean. That'd be cool. I go maybe call it Legends Deoxys or something.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if they'll do a full remake of Legends. I think they might do something similar, but I think they just knocked it out of the park. That it's we've taken on God now. I don't know if you can really hype that. I don't know how you do that, but I mean, okay.
It's tough. I mean, there are a lot of things about the game that kind of annoyed me, the lack of voice acting. I was kind of fatigued, part of the way through the game, trying to keep track of the story while not wanting to read any dialogue anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a symptom of Pokemon for me too. The reading is hard. I don't
reading in general is just hard. Can we all agree on that?
I don't read books, to be honest. I'm not a book person.
We're not into Pokemon for the reading. We're in it for the mons.
Yeah,
but the first time I play through the game, I like to enjoy the story. I like to gain the story once, and then every time I play it afterwards, I don't care. But the first time, I do like to enjoy the story, and voice acting would definitely help me with that a lot. Because I felt that with Sword and Shield too, getting on the Switch, Sword and Shield being the first big game. Let's Go, I didn't really care that much because it felt like a 3DS game on the Switch, but with Sword and Shield, I was so excited. I was like, yeah, there's definitely gonna be voice acting, and then there just wasn't, and I was like, why did I hype myself up for this?
Yeah, you kind of shot yourself in the foot there.
It happens.
You gotta think about this. We didn't get multiplayer in Pokemon until 2018. Voice acting isn't gonna be for a while.
Yeah, if ever.
Wait, what? What?
Well, you haven't gotten multiplayer in the story until 2018.
Am I dumb? What are we talking about?
You could play with 2 players on the screen in Let's Go.
Oh, and Let's Go.
local.
Oh,
Yeah.
local.
that's why I don't remember that. Okay.
Monk, like I don't have any real life friends, so it's hard for me to play.
Okay, no, I wasn't gonna. I was just gonna say that I didn't buy Let's Go. I wasn't gonna take it that far.
You
but
didn't buy
thank you.
Let's Go? You didn't buy Let's Go?
No, I skipped on those games, man.
Wow.
Skipped on
All
those.
right. Fake fan.
They're a pretty fun they're a fun nostalgia trip though. I
were.
enjoyed them. Like it's a one-time play thing for sure, but like they're still fun either way.
You mean like most Pokemon games, just one and done?
Yes and no. Like if I'm going on a road trip, like I'll bring my Game Boy and play a Pokemon game, like just because.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it less nowadays because I make content on Pokemon now, but like.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's still fun to just play through them. Like every once in a while, like it comes and goes in phases for me where I'm like, I really just want to go back and play through
Exactly.
X game.
game.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Ooh, look at that, Jinx.
So like, are there anything that in Legends that like you guys despise, like you don't want to come to the next game?
The fight, the whole battle mechanic, just
I
leave
didn't
it.
like the
Yeah.
battling stuff
Just
either.
like-
I
Really?
Like, strong and agile styles were just weird, and I'm glad that they won't be returning.
I also feel like just the amount of stuff that you had to do with the decks
Yeah, I thought
Like,
sometimes it could get pretty
could be a
like.
little bit less.
Yeah, it's really overbearing when they're like, yeah, you between this region and the next region that you should go to, you have to get like 3,000 points, and you're like, oh, I'm at 800, and I already finished. Yeah. Like, I finished everything I could do here, so now I just have to run around and catch Pokemon and level them up just to move on with the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, very true.
I thought the story was very bland and boring, if I'm being honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't capture me. Like the gameplay part was somewhat like the exploration and the catching Pokemon was super fun, and like
Okay. Sorry.
You're
How
good.
far did you get? That's my question.
I played the main story and then I got through like right before you fight Arceus at the end of the game.
Okay, never mind. Then okay.
You guys
gonna
can
say like, oh, you got to actually make it to the end of the game
Yeah.
again. Okay.
I mean, my problem with it is though, like it didn't make me want to play to the end of the game. Like I was very bored by the time I got to like fighting Heatran and like catching like some of the mythicals. I was just like, yeah, I'm just, and I haven't touched it since opening weekend.
Wow.
I haven't
Hey, you
shiny
haven't touched
hunted.
Legends?
Nope, haven't touched it once. I bought the game. I played it opening weekend. I think I beat it on Monday or Tuesday of opening like the opening weekend, and I haven't opened the game since.
That's crazy. How did you get to Heatran on your like opening weekend?
I played it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Oh. That makes more sense now. Okay.
Like I remember jumping. Well, because I remember I jumped into call with you guys. I think it was Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was like done with the game already, and like Salty was like right at the beginning,
Yeah.
and like I was like, dang, I was like, I just blew through the game really fast because the gameplay was so much fun, and I didn't even pay attention to the story half the time because, like I said earlier, with having to read everything. And with some of the characters being really bland, and like the end of the story was kind of cool with like whenever you fight like the origin form or whatever I think it's called of Daga and Palkia, like that was cool. And like getting thrown into that like final arena fight where you have to fight them was fun. But like I feel like the game for me was more fun for the gameplay than it was the story. Personally.
Yeah, I agree. And I felt like the story was kind of repetitive. It's just like the main missions, like how you were just fighting the big that's angry Pokemon, whatever they're called. Alpha? No, it was
Oh
like
yeah. Oh, what were they called? The ones that were golden.
Oh, the
Yeah.
nobles.
Nobles.
Yeah, the nobles,
thank you.
nobles.
The frenzied nobles. Yeah, just doing that over and over, like that was like the bulk of the story. And then all the side quests were just basically just like extra grinding. Like go
Yeah.
catch this species, and like there wasn't any story. Like you know how like you play other RPGs and you know the side quests have like stories of like oh, my sister went missing and you got to go find her. You know, in like those types of RPGs, like I
Hmm.
don't know, I felt like they could have made the side quests more story driven rather than just task driven. Like I don't know, like
Yeah.
fetch me this one thing. I don't know. Like protecting people from Pokemon would be cool if they were like out in the wild being attacked by them and you had to catch the Pokemon before like the
Hmm.
person you're trying to save loses health. Like that would be
Yeah.
cool. Like, but you know, they were all very just like go do this, catch a few Pokemon, stuff you're already doing, but just like tell me about it. Basically, like go do this and then report back to this one character that you did it. So that's like one of my biggest gripes with it. I feel like story wise.
It feels like, so for me, the thing that I was annoyed with the game story wise was like, as soon as you get into the world, like there's that gigantic rift in the sky over, I think it's like, is it Mount Pyre? Is that it? No, what is it?
Mount Cornet.
Cornet.
Mount Cornet. Um, and like, but they don't talk about it literally at all. Like
Oh,
they don't
okay,
mention
yeah.
it. Like
Then you didn't get far enough then.
no, but like they don't mention it in like the whole game. Like no one's like, yeah, we don't know what that big thing in the sky is. Like in real life, you're telling me like no one, like that was so unrealistic to me that like no one would be like, yeah, so you just came out of the sky and you fell on this beach. There's also this weird rift thing in the sky. I wonder if they're correlated. Like they just don't talk about it at all. And then like then you get to the end of the game whenever you fight your respective legendary for like the end of like the main story, and like they still don't talk about the rift. It's just like, oh, this big gigantic Pokemon came out of the rift. That's it. We're just gonna forget about it now. Now go catch all these mythical Pokemon, but we're still not gonna talk about the fact that you fought the legendary Pokemon and there's still a rift up there.
Yeah, I mean, the story there's not much logic in them and it's just like it's like also like how does this one kid like know so much more than like all the adults
Uh-huh.
in the region? Like none of them can even capture Pokemon. This kid's just a master at it.
It's just I guess it was, I had to like just kind of deal with the story to play the game. Like it got, by the
Yeah.
time you get to like the final area and you're kind of doing the same thing again, like going and helping like all of these side characters that I didn't end up really caring about most of them because they all felt pretty bland. And like I didn't go into this game thinking it was gonna have a phenomenal story, but since it wasn't like a normal Pokemon game and it was more of an RPG focused game, I thought it might like be more story driven than the normal games, because the normal games are like build your Pokemon team, you know what gyms you're fighting, you know what types they are. Whereas this one, it was like it mattered what your team was, but at the same time, like not really. Like I feel like most of the time I was going around in the game kind of just using whatever Pokemon I wanted to, because I didn't really
Yeah.
know what I was gonna be fighting, so it didn't really matter. Like any trainer could have had like any random Pokemon, so I couldn't really strategize my team typings. So I just ended up rocking up with my favorite Pokemon that I liked, and then fighting all the trainers, and that was it. So it was fine, but I would like a little bit more of like a connection, I guess, between the gameplay and the story. They just don't do a whole lot to like explain like the little story beats where you're like running through and like helping some of like the people in the world and doing XYZ. They kind of glossed over the fact that you were from another world, besides for like a couple story beats here and there when people will talk about it. But like in reality, once you get like a couple hours into the story, like nobody cares that you came through a rift from another
No, I
world.
remember at the end of the game, people, because it was when we got thrown out of the Galaxy Squad, right? And then people were
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, he's still from like another world," kind of thing, and so it kind of kept that resentment, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, as soon as they start distorting the world, they actually kick you out of the village.
Yeah. And so I feel like it gets brought up like enough to be
Yeah.
annoying, but like also at the same time, it's like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna throw a
Yeah.
child out of the village and like, oh, there's Pokemon running around?
I guess my biggest problem with that is that like the game leading up to that point, like it makes sense at that point that when you get kicked out, everyone's like not on your side. But there aren't any characters at least from my knowledge, from what I remember from doing like some of the side quests and running around the world, that like before that point, there aren't a whole lot of people that like don't like you.
True.
Just for being from another world. So whenever like you get kicked out of Galaxy Squad and that's like the main thing people are talking about and not like anything else, it just like it doesn't seem very connected. Like that portion of the game to like everything up to that point feels like almost two separate games story-wise. Like you're helping the whole world and then this like random event happens. I just wish it felt more connected. I felt really disconnected with the story in this game.
I can see that. Yeah, I don't think. I don't think Pokemon isn't known for having the greatest storytelling abilities,
No.
even though they're the
No.
greatest media franchise ever, which is a little bit ironic, actually, if you think about it.
Yep.
But yeah, I think their stories have always been lackluster at best, and at worst, they've just been kind of press
X
A
and Y.
simulator. Yeah. Like
Press
what,
X simulator.
what am I doing here? Like you keep like piggybacking and like changing the setting of this one area, but like it's still Pokemon at its core. You just kind of change the story around it. So it's like do better. But they don't want to hire the writers. Yeah.
Even though they could.
I don't even mind like if they would bring back a genuinely good evil team. Like what was it? Gen 7, they had a great evil team. I loved Team Skull. Like that was really cool. Gen 8 doesn't even have an evil team. It doesn't exist.
And Gen 8, I don't want to get too hard into the topic of Gen 8 because that's its own podcast altogether. But the story of Gen 8 is like literally my least favorite in the whole series. Like I hate it. It's like all this cool things happening. Nah, Leon's gonna take care of it. All this cool things happening. Nah, Leon again is gonna take care of
Like,
it.
am I the main
Leon's
character of this story, or is Leon?
Should I be playing as Leon here?
I actually didn't mind that too much. I thought that was pretty decent. Like, oh, we have somebody to actually like look up and challenge to.
I thought it was cool, but it didn't have to happen every time. Like there could have been a couple things that like, because if they would have allowed like Leon to take maybe like 2 or 3 of the events and we got to do like 1 or 2 of them and we could have got like hints to who the bad guys actually are before we're just like thrown into this like weird plot at the end of the game where Rose is the bad guy and he did all this like stupid crap, like it would have been so much more enjoyable to me.
Right.
But that's getting way off topic for today's discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I just wanted to bring up one more thing that I just thought about that might make it a little bit better for you with Legends. What's his name? The train guy that has the brother in black and white.
Oh yeah.
That is probably a lot of the reason why they don't talk about you coming from the sky, because he did the same thing.
Makes sense.
So
Makes sense.
isn't your character isn't the only one that has done this in the story.
Yeah.
I still probably won't finish the game.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I just mean it's like as far as that criticism.
Yeah,
like,
it makes sense because he's what?
Yeah.
What are they called? Like, are they admins? What are they? Are they admins?
They're like
I
railroad
think so,
conductors.
yeah.
Who knows at this
Yeah.
point?
Like for Team Pearl and Team Diamond, are they called admins?
I think so. Yeah.
They're just called like lead. It's like their tribe
Yeah.
leader or something.
Okay, yeah. So this is gonna be a segue. I don't know how to segue out of this and go into remakes because it's kind of difficult. But with people saying that Legends is like the better remake of Gen 4 versus BDSP, even though I think the joke is funny because it's like it's not a remake, but BDSP is so bad that it might as well be.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it because I'm curious. Because with Gen 5 being next on the chopping block for remakes, and I love Gen 5, and I really want the remake to be good. And I'm really just kind of skeptical at this point if it's going to be any good when it comes out in like 6 years from now.
Anybody else want to take point on this one?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was a stopping point.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good.
Shady, it's one of your favorite generations, right?
Personally, seeing what they did to BDSP, I would rather a Legends game, but at the same time, if they do it good, I would rather have a remake, I guess. It's like, I don't know. Really, it could go either way, depending as long as it's good.
It's tough because I like it. I love Gen 5. And I mean, at the core of the game, I actually don't think BDSP is like bad or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like really boring. Like the reason that I liked remakes so much up until this point is because they were slightly altered versions of the game that we
Me
had
too.
already played.
They
And
were
when
kind
they
of modernized, right?
exactly like
brought up
Omega Ruby
the-
Alpha Sapphire, Heart Gold
Yeah.
and Soul
Yeah.
Silver, like they gave us a reason to be like, oh yeah, I want to buy this game and I want to play it again. I'm gonna get the same experience, but it's gonna be fresh and new and fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like even people kind of complained about Let's Go, but it still they weren't bad.
No, it's
like
a
they were
fun game
for
to
the
pass
first
time.
playthrough. Yeah.
hmm How do you feel, Monk?
I think that Pokemon is going to do what Pokemon does best, and that's going to be they print money based off of a half-assed product. I think that that's just like how the system is set to go now, because their name can carry itself, even if they do produce really bad games, aka BDSP. They still sell very well, and they just look at the sales data and they're like, "Hey, we sold this for $60. We have all of our money now. We don't really care." I don't think that they're into innovating anymore like they did with ORAS. Even Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee to an extent, like it was still migrating the Pokemon Go community over. But I think that the days of good quality remakes are over. I think that now we're going to get lesser versions rather than full enhancements or enhanced versions.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I have a more depressing outlook on it, but
Just a little bit.
I find something interesting about Pokemon is that I feel like it's always been, at least for me and for maybe a lot of people, like it's like less about the story, and maybe that's why they know, like, I mean, they've sold so many games with like not great stories, then people still buy them. It's like it's the experience, and it's like what Pokemon is at its core, just like the collecting of the creatures, and the fact that they like, you catching them and leveling them up, and like, honest, just like collecting the ones you like and putting them on your team. It doesn't really matter if the story around it is like subpar. Like that concept is like so much fun. I think that's why they get away with it, is because people just will like eat up the concept of getting to run around and catch little creatures because it's just fun.
That makes sense. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's funny that you say that, because, like, I absolutely love Generation 8 for a lot of reasons, like Sword and Shield. And I think the biggest reason is because there are 400 Pokemon in the Pokedex, and you can literally get all of them without, like, any issues. Like, you have to trade a couple of them with, like, the other copy, but, like, you can complete a Pokedex in that game very easily. And, like, that's kind of getting into the topic of, like, the National Dex stuff, but like I feel like if you go back to like Fire Red or like Emerald, and you want to try and complete the regional decks for that game, like it's so difficult to find some of those Pokemon, and like and versus where I literally just said where Generation 8 is like my least favorite story wise, but it's one of my favorites for just collecting Pokemon and like exploring the region. And I was really hoping that like they would bring the Gen 4 remakes into Sword and Shield's engine and give us like a Sword and Shield style Gen 4, which is what a lot of people wanted.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not what we got.
No.
not even close. No.
And I think the biggest thing that made me upset or made me sad was that they brought back fully random encounters.
Yeah.
It's fun for Nuzlocke. That's about it. I don't know how you guys feel about random encounters versus seeing the Pokemon you're gonna catch. But I would much rather just see them, especially in a game like Sword and Shield, where like there are new Pokemon. I don't know what Pokemon or its route. Being able to see them like in the overworld and go, I want to catch that. Like that was awesome. Like being able to see like brand new Pokemon. Whereas like in the remakes, it's not even like it really mattered, because it was literally just Diamond and Pearl put onto the Switch with chibi graphics. So
They
like I
just
already knew
imported that data.
exactly. And there are some things I like for like playing BDSP versus the original Diamond and Pearl. Like it is a bit faster of a game. Like health drains faster. It's swimming, like surfing is faster. Like some of the stuff, like the quality of life changes, quote unquote, are nice. But like they alienated like so many people when they made this, like with the competitive battling communities and like just people who wanted them to finish the Pokedex in Generation 8, and they're like, nah, you get the first 4 gens and that's it. Like, you're telling me they couldn't have like added timer in this game, just given us all the battle items, and then allowed us to have national decks in this game and just finished making 3D models, and it would have been the perfect game to like switch up the competitive meta for like a year.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, especially since we've already seen it done with Oras, like, well, and even Ultra Sun and Moon and stuff like that. Like, at least they moved over and past, but no, they kind of, I don't know. Part of me agrees hardcore with that. Of like, you could have just finished up the rest of the Pokedex. It would have been very easy. But then another part of me is like, I kind of do like that they stuck to just the original decks that was allowed there, since it does make sense for it. But like, completely getting, I don't think that they'll like look at competitive battle and be like, oh, what's good for them, because that, let's be real, competitive Pokemon is just too niche. Like, they don't care that much.
No, they only care about VGC, and that's about it.
Exactly.
And they're not even gonna. They probably never had plans to do their competitive series with BDSP anyways. So it's not like they didn't even give it a second thought, especially with battle items and stuff.
Yeah, no, there was no way that they were moving to BDSP for competitive. Like, it just doesn't make sense. The games, just the way they look, shows that, honestly.
Is it crazy to you to think in like maybe like 5 to like 8 years there's a chance we could see like an X and Y remake? Does that feel crazy?
It does feel weird.
I think that you might be like 6, just because every 3 years they tend to do a remake. So
Yeah, like
it
that's
could be-
nuts. The idea that like the first 3D Pokemon game is gonna get a remake just blows my mind. And like that's the thing that kind of annoys me a little bit about the fact that like they're kind of leaning towards the remakes not really being that great anymore. And I'm hoping they can fix that with Gen 5, but like when we get to the Gen 6 remake, they could like take all the stuff they wanted to do in Pokemon Z and just put it in the remake. And like,
you know what the even crazier part though is? You're not even considering that we have Black and White and Black and White 2. So we could get sequels of a sequel.
I forgot about that. Oh no.
I want
No,
Black
Black
and White 3.
3.
Yeah. They're probably not even going to do both. I mean, they should.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like in reality, Black and White 2 are literally just like Red and Blue and Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
So
Guys,
they could
I just
do
had
it.
an idea. What if we finally get the ultimate Kyurem form?
Yeah, that'd
That's
be sick, right?
probably the Legends type.
That
thing
would be
Yeah, I could see
so
that in
cool.
Legends. The Legends Pokemon.
just like X and Y Legends would probably have a complete Zygarde.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the first Pokemon with like 3 types:
Yeah.
No,
Fire,
nope,
Electric, and
nope,
Dragon.
Nope. Let's not get crazy here, folks. We don't change up the formula after 25 years.
Yeah, well, they gotta do something because it's gonna get boring eventually.
Gotta
Like-
make it even worse because then you had the forms with the ice type.
I am kind of glad though that BDSP didn't have like Gigantamax. If I'm being honest.
Everybody's glad.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's a Galar exclusive thing.
Yeah. And I think that might have also been one of their hangups with like porting over, like making it a modernized game, is like every time they've done that, they have used the gimmick of the generation. So like making it a gimmick, like, oh yeah, we built these cool stadiums and we got all these stones from Galar and we created our own Gigantamax spots. I'd be like, no, that's too much. This is way too much. Like, or like a wild area in the middle of in like the middle of the region that just has like dens now.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of wish that they would do like a remake that would be able to be updated, so that way it includes like every Pokemon, and then you can like choose which gimmicks you'd want to like.
Now you're
implement.
really asking for a lot.
I know it would be like a Coliseum thing, but like I still think that would be pretty cool, and then you could like update that continually.
I still want a Battle Revolution, man.
Yeah.
Battle Revolution, yeah.
Yes.
Like a brand new one where like you use like your teams from like a specific game, and then they give you like options like to use Pokemon Home. Like,
Yeah.
I think that'd be
that for
awesome.
that would be a great space for competitive too, to just have all
Mm-hmm.
your Pokemon in like, you can transfer from home onto the centralized battle platform where you can host tournaments and like you can like you can like and then just add it, I don't know. That sounds great. Just have it like be for battling. Like make
Exactly.
it. I don't know why they don't like. There's like I think it's not as niche as you said. Like Monk, like competitive battling is big enough to where I feel like they could like introduce a game space for competitive, and then they could still do their own thing in separate story games. You know, like
Hmm.
and then Pokemon you catch in your story, you can like transfer over to the battle arena. I feel like if they could do it in a way where I don't know, it's just where it would still be profitable for them. Like I don't know if they like not like in a like a gotcha kind of way where you have to like spend money to like to play, but I'm trying to think like where they could have it last a long time and people could use it, but
Mm-hmm.
still have it make sense to maybe sell it for like a base price. I don't know
I
how
don't know.
they.
I think like if you said if it would be like a Coliseum or
Yeah.
a Battle Revolution,
Oh, they just sell
if you have
skins.
if you have centralized like that, like that'll make you money for a longer period of time than any
What?
single game will.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
trainer cards and trainer outfits, and
Uh-huh.
you sell
Mhm.
decorations and
Yeah,
sell
just
skins.
be like Unite.
Yeah, and then there could be battle passes kind of thing where like you unlock, they sell you a battle pass and you unlock, character outfits and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like you have to like compete in battles and like rank up in like a ladder system in order to like, earn the rewards rather than buying them. And like, yeah, I don't know. Seems like there's some potential there.
I
Oh,
feel like that would be really
definitely.
cool. You could also do like different voices. So think of like Samuel L. Jackson voicing a
Yeah,
Pokemon battle.
God.
Get
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg and like
He's
They
knocked
would
the hell out.
Oh man, I will
that
say
would never.
the thing I like about BDSP is the difficulty spike at the end of the game, but I don't
Yes.
like the fact that it's like super abrupt. Like the gym fights in and of themselves with the gym leaders aren't necessarily easy, but they're also not that hard
Mhm.
as long as you have like a specific set of Pokemon to deal with their Pokemon. Speaking of
Mhm.
from like a regular playthrough, not like a Nuzlocke or anything like that, from like a normal person playing the game, if you have a Pokemon that can handle the gym typing, you're usually pretty good and you can take out the gym fairly easily.
I would agree. Even doing a Nuzlocke day one.
Yeah. But then you get to that last berry fight and you're like, holy shit. Like it went from like, oh, this is kind of hard to, oh, he's literally kicking my shit in right now. And when did this happen? When did he put Grass Knot on his starter Pokemon so he can one shot my Gastrodon? When did this happen? Like it's like what's going on? And then it gets harder and harder. And the Cynthia battle is very difficult, but it's
Yes.
so much fun. Trying to strategize and get ready for that fight, I thought was a blast. And that's the first time in like a regular Pokemon game where I've actually been like I went to go fight the Elite Four with underlevel Pokemon and I could not beat it.
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
talk about a difficulty spike? That's where
Dude, that's
Legends
one of the
comes back.
Yeah. Yeah, that difficulty spike. I was like, I had to what is it? I had to purposely over level to have a chance at Cynthia. Like I was just like if I was just a casual player, I would not have enjoyed that.
No, but just because I think it happens so fast. If the game would have consistently been that difficult,
Mhm.
and we would have gotten and like regular players would have gotten used to it by like say like the second or the third gym, like thinking to themselves, oh, when I get into this battle, I have to be prepared for XYZ Pokemon, or like going and fighting the gym, seeing what they have, and then strategizing afterwards, because not a lot of people like to do research online for these games, obviously. I just think it happens so fast it definitely turned people off, probably from finishing the game at the end, where they're like, I don't want to sit here and grind my Pokemon up because all my Pokemon are level like 50 and I'm going up against them. They're like level 60s and up. Like this is like impossible. I don't want to sit here and try and grind my Pokemon for hours upon hours. Like for when me and Salty did the Ravelock, like we we beat all the gyms, and then we were gonna do the Elite Four, and instead of just like recording it, we had to do a stream where we grinded for 3 hours, so that our Pokemon would be high enough level that we didn't get completely washed at the end of the game, even though like a normal rival lock, we would have just went right into it.
Right. Yeah, I think because it's not only that, it's the fact that they upped the like coverage of the Pokemon as well as started giving them competitive EVs and items. Like you're going up
Yes.
against a fully trained EV team, and a lot of people don't even know what EVs are.
No.
So it just like makes the game completely imbalanced as you head into that last like Elite Four and Champion battle.
And it's literally it's literally 5 competitive Pokemon battles in a row where you can't heal or like get PP back. Like it's by the time you get to Cynthia, if you haven't made a strategy from the first battle to how you're going to beat Cynthia, you're going to lose. And it's like, dang, that was insanely difficult. It was fun. Like beating her was very satisfying.
Yeah.
But like it was definitely very difficult. I think that was kind of Pokemon's like first step into getting into games like what's the really hard one? The Fire Red.
Radical Red.
Yeah. It was like their first step at trying like a Radical Red style game, but they just
Yeah.
did it like the totally wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, here we are. It's like we want, this, and this, and this, and then it's like, okay, Pokemon is like, okay, we'll give you EVs and competitive. So it's like, whoa, we didn't want it that hard. So I feel like we're kind of we want it our way, or like.
Well, because
I
like
don't
they did all of that, but then unlike Radical Red, where they gave the players easier options to not only understand what these things were, but easier ways to get EVs and train IVs. And for a regular Pokemon game, I feel like they did a better job explaining what those things are and helping trainers in Sword and Shield. But they didn't explain. They never really explain what any of these things are to players. Like you have to go out and physically look them up because in the game, for all of the characters that like tell you like talk about your Pokemon's nature, or they talk about like your IVs or your EVs, they're always vague.
Yeah, they're super vague, and a lot of them are like for EV or for IVs are post game. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like for a regular player who walks up to this random house and talks to this old lady, and they're like, your Pokemon seems very bashful, and you're like, what?
Great. Thanks.
Like, your Pokemon's attack is pretty good, but its defense is the best. And you're like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like the folly of making a regular Pokemon game difficult without helping players who don't understand actually understand how to do the challenge correctly. Like I think fan games have been doing that way better in terms of actually explaining things in game and helping people like train and adding items and adding like different things. Like Radical Red's insane for all of the stuff that they really did with the ROM to change how easy it is to like EV train and IV train and get the right Pokemon, and like I think that's nuts.
Yeah, it is. Then that's how easy it should be in like every Pokemon game. I don't know why it's
Especially
not.
like for competitive Pokemon battling too. Like you
Yeah.
mentioned how nice it would be like if you could just go to a random house in like in the overworld and just like be like, yeah, I want this many EVs.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Just
instead
like-
of having to go fight hordes and stuff.
Gosh.
Or
Yeah, you're
just
right.
and not even in like newer games you can't even fight hordes. You just have to go and kill lots of Pokemon, and buy the anklets that nobody knows what they do. And
In a way, they did make it easier in Sword and Shield though, because you could just use the
yes, the bottle caps.
items, yeah, or well, the bottle caps and the items for EV training. You didn't actually have to go out and EV train.
Sword and Shield was fantastic for time saving
Mhm.
for competitive Pokemon battling for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think the thing that like gets me when we're talking about like the BDSP spike and all that, like, it's just the fact that there's not really like everybody's playing on the same difficulty. So if you wanted to go easy because I'm new to Pokemon and I'm 10 years old, I go to easy mode. That has its own parameters. And then like we've already talked about, like with ROM hacks, it's like you can edit those things to where, okay, I can play on normal difficulty that'll be a little bit harder, and it might be like intermediate, and then you have like a challenge mode, right? And so like I feel like that would just be like, if you can make it to where the game can be more customizable for the individual player, I feel like the better off it'll be.
Definitely, especially because like with Gen 5 and with them after you beating the games unlocking the difficulty options, like if those could just be available from the start, like playing on easy, normal, or hard from the beginning of the game, you don't have to beat it, you don't have to like trade Pokemon and connect with a friend to like unlock the other difficulty. If they can just let you pick at the beginning of the game how difficult the game is going to be, and I don't just mean levels, because I don't think that makes the game harder, it just makes it grindier. Like EVs, IVs, items, and moves for each separate like level. Like if you're gonna play on easy, like it's super simple. Where if you're playing hard, Pokemon have like extra moves, like you're seeing like Thunder Punch on like Fire Mons and all this stuff. Like that's what I want personally, because I think that would be so much fun, especially from like a content and just playthrough perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why Wes and I are doing like the Black and White 2 Redux stuff. It's just because like it gives us a challenge, but it also mixes up the Pokemon's typings a little bit, and then it has like a lot of like input that is specifically crafted for the game. So it everything feels like it has its own place. And so with that, like what was I saying? Like there's like the difficulty that you can change, but then also it's like, okay, train AI is a little bit better as you get to like harder modes and stuff like that, and then they start to be like more competitive. So it's like, if I want to go to a challenge mode on my first ever playthrough, let me do it. Don't hold me back. Exactly. But if I also want to do super easy and I just want like a classic Pokemon playthrough, I should also be able to have that as well. Like that would be very cool.
I think that would be profitable for the Pokemon company as well, because then it's like more people are going to be interested. Because I know a lot of people nowadays don't really enjoy playing the normal games as much because they're so easy for them. Like they buy the game, but it would get more people interested in like the next upcoming game if they started to make the games a little bit more difficult. Because I think like right now the community's so torn over every little thing that ever comes out. Like some people are always hype, some people are all like half and half, and other people are just like, yeah, that looks like trash all the time, no matter what it is. They're like, I love Pokemon, man, but that looks terrible. Like
I feel that.
That's kind of how I am. It's like I want Gen 9 to be good, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it's gonna be bad.
I like the presentation, but the presentation didn't equal the final product. So
exactly.
Like, I feel cheated here.
I'm holding out my hope. I want it to be good, but I'm not gonna like put all of my eggs in one basket for this one.
I've already given up on Gen 9. I'm just gonna keep my expectations super low.
Yeah.
It's better that way.
It can't be that bad.
Okay, you say that now. Watch in 7 months, it'd be absolute garbage.
Exactly.
Because you said it right here tonight.
As long as the grass starter isn't bipedal and it fully evolves, it's a good game.
I thought you were gonna say as long as the grass textures are good.
I was
as long as the trees look nice, they'll be fine.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
that's funny.
It's kind of hard because I'm not sure if I want the. It'd be cool if they could finally put all the old games just on the Switch.
Yeah, I was actually gonna mention that earlier. It's funny because after BDSP at this point, they might as well just port the games instead of making remakes.
At this point, they would make more money for like and spend less money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I even said that, but it's like honestly the truth. I'd rather just play the originals before playing BDSP again.
I'm very interested in them actually doing like at least the 3DS games. Like, could you imagine like getting to replay like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire or like X and Y, but like on the engine? Yeah, for like because they'd be on the Let's Go engine because it's because that's the Gen 7 engine on the Switch. Wasn't Let's Go supposed to be like a port of Sun and Moon or something originally? Weren't they gonna port Sun and Moon to the Switch?
I have no clue.
As like their Let's look it up.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about that.
Let's see. The Let's Go games started as sequels to Sun and Moon. I don't know if this is real or not.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's real. I'm not gonna say it's real. But I remember like back in the day, a lot of people were talking about like they were trying to get people interested, like the Pokemon fans interested, to buying a Switch. So they were gonna port Sun and Moon over so that people could play it in 1080p.
Okay.
I'm kind of glad they didn't.
Yeah.
Even, like I'm not a huge fan of Sun and Moon. I'm glad Let's Go came out because I feel like I had fun just sitting back and playing that game. Whereas I don't think I would have wanted to play Sun and Moon again just because it's on a Switch.
So it just happened. So it's like I wouldn't want to play it again that recently.
When did Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon come out?
That was 2018.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was.
Maybe that's what they were planning.
Yeah,
Maybe
because it was 2016 for Sun and Moon, 2018 for the.
Maybe they were planning on doing all the Ultra games on the Switch then.
That could have been.
Whatever. Don't listen to me because I'm probably not right.
That would make the most sense because 2016 was Switch release. So
True.
Am I tripping? I probably am. When did? Because I feel like that's wrong, but I don't know. Hang on, let me look that up really
I'm
quick.
just trying to think because wasn't Breath of the Wild a Switch release?
Breath of the Wild
yeah,
was-
2017. The Switch came out in 2017.
Oh, okay, 2017 was Switch. Okay.
I could have sworn it was 16. Let's see. So Oras was 2014. Sun and Moon was 2016. USUM was 17.
Oh, 17 was Ultra Sun. Okay.
Yeah,
would-
and
yeah,
then,
that would make
2018
sense.
was Let's Go. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
'cause
19
20
was 19 was Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield. Okay.
Dang, they released 4 games 4 years in a row.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that quickly.
Dang.
Well, they released. I mean, yeah, they did it.
I was so mad. I was a senior in high school the year that they didn't release a Pokemon game. I was so upset.
Oh, really?
Yeah, having to
Yeah, that's
replay
funny.
Oraz for another year, and then Sun and Moon got announced, and I was in college, and I no longer was into Pokemon,
Oof.
which is funny to think where I am now in life.
Yeah.
Now you're just like post college, and you're like, I'm still here.
It was like 2 years into college. I was like, I kind of want to play Pokemon again. It makes me feel good inside, and that's when I played Sun and Moon for the first time again. Yeah, I think
that's kind of crazy for me because I started playing Pokemon in 4th grade.
4th grade. I started playing Pokemon when I was in 1st grade. Actually, probably before that, with Pokemon Crystal, and then I played all the games up to like I think it was like 5th or 6th grade. Then I stopped for a couple of years, like through middle school, and then I played Pokemon through high school, and then I didn't play when I like first couple years of college because I'm like I'm an adult now. I don't need to play this. I'm gonna play Fortnite instead. And then I moved home and started my YouTube channel, and the first thing I did was 6 episodes of an Emerald playthrough. So here we are.
Nice. Very nice.
Monk, did you miss that episode when we talked about why we make content?
I did actually. That was the
Yeah.
1 week I wasn't here.
Would you like to tell your story today?
I could tell my story, sure. You got to remind me of the questions though. Do it like an interview.
Sure. So, when did you start making content, Monk? Specifically, when did you start making Pokemon content?
I made Pokemon content May 18th, 2017, I think was my first video.
Oh, wow. That's far. How young were you?
I was a junior? I was a junior in high school when I started. And I started on actually a fan-made game. It was called Phoenix Rising.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's-
That brings back nostalgic memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, they only did one chapter of it and then dropped the game. So it was but I was like, I was kind of looking at it and I was watching YouTube, and I'd always really wanted to like kind of play content in some form or fashion. And then what is it? I watched Asteroid's video on like how he does it. I was like, oh, I could probably do that. And then I saw that this game was coming out, and I was like, oh, well, I can make videos a lot faster than bigger YouTubers can, and so I ended up doing that, and the videos did really well. There was like 700 and 800 view videos for like my very first ones.
Dang, look at you.
Yeah, and so I just did that, and then I think I quit a lot during senior year. Like I did videos, but it was like a let's play, just not even a Nuzlocke. It was bad, all around, just bad. Like I don't ever want to go back to that. And then, yeah, that did let's plays. I did a couple more fan games, and then I eventually got into Draft League. So, yeah, I mean,
Nice.
pretty
I'm
humble
like
beginnings.
squeaking through your channel at the moment. So,
You will find those videos. I've taken them down.
was Asteroid like the person that you watched that really got you into content? Was there like somebody else who made you really want to get into Pokemon content?
Yeah, so at the time, from like I want to say my freshman year. Yeah, I think Asteroid and like the core four. So like him,
Okay.
Dylan, Ryan, and Vinny. I'd been watching those, and I was like, they make pretty interesting content. But then I specifically watched Asteroid because I was like, he's only like 3 months younger than I was, and I was like, he already has this massive channel, and he's 3 months younger than me. What am I doing with my life? And so I decided to completely like throw that like line of thinking out the window, and then I just started making content for myself because I wanted to.
I feel that. I definitely feel that.
Bad mindset.
It is a bad mindset, especially when you don't hit your milestones and you're like, damn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what am I doing
mean,
wrong?
it can be depressing, but at the same time, it's like at least I'm trying. Like who else? Like everybody, at least in like our generation, is like, oh, I wanted to do that, and I'm just like, I actually tried it. Like
Yeah,
I've
like
grown a
I'm
lot
going
from
for it.
It's like I'm not gonna get anywhere, but at least I'm trying. And it's like, oh, you actually did try and like take that next step forward instead of just saying it in words and then quitting after a couple months. It's like, no, you've done this for have I this is 5 years. This is my fifth anniversary in like
5 years.
a month. Oh my god.
That's crazy. Because I started making content on my main channel in 2018. And it wasn't even Pokemon.
Really?
Like yeah, let me go back. I'll look at my one I posted my first actual Pokemon video.
Yeah, I actually would miss them too.
It was my first Pokemon video I posted April 28th of 2019.
Dang.
I've been watching Pokemon content though for like my whole life up to that point. So like Shady Penguin, a couple people that I won't name, Munching Orange, like a lot of OG Pokemon creators. Like I grew up with like the original like GBA draft leagues, and a bunch of other stuff like that. So it's been like I got to see like the Pokemon community from like a viewer standpoint and grow from like nothing, before X and Y, and then like blow up as soon as X and Y came out. Like especially the competitive community with the battle spot and stuff, like it blew up so fast, and it's crazy to think how big it is now, versus how big it was a couple of oh my god, it's almost 10 years now. Like 9 years ago, whenever X and Y came out in like 2013.
That's crazy. Also, just to like clarify, it was 2018. So I got this is year 4. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
I switched it up. I thought it was 17, but it was 18. So
I'm like a sophomore in college in 2017.
a junior in high school.
I feel so old.
I am 6 months away from 6 years.
6 years.
Jeez.
I'm not gonna publicly share this channel, but I'll say it. I've been making YouTube content. Let's see, when did I make this channel? I don't want people to find it.
I know exactly which channel you're talking about.
Yes,
so.
you do. I started making content in 2015 on YouTube. It wasn't like Pokemon or anything. Just videos with a friend, which actually have a lot of views on these videos. Like every single video on the channel has like over 100 views. A couple of them like 3, 4, 5, which I find to be so funny. But yeah, I don't know. I think like our little community is fantastic. I think once we hit our stride, we'll be doing big things, boys.
I think this next generation will be really big, especially because Draft League content will come back around because some of the bigger YouTubers will get back into Draft League with the new generation. And then the fact that we're more versed and we've been in the draft community for so long that it will have like we won't be starting out as rookies anymore, at least for those of us who do draft. Sorry. But then like it'll.
I think that kind of counts for like everything, right? Because like we've all been kind of doing a series together, like on and off for like since they dropped at least Sword and Shield until now. Like
Right.
but I think like this year, at least from like my perspective, is from being someone who's fairly new to being in the IBA group. I mean, in a few months I'll be in IBA. I'll be friends with you guys for like almost a year. But like, yeah, I know it's crazy, right?
I don't even want to think about that right now.
Jesus.
It feels like we're all like kind of hitting a stride in terms of like when we can make content, what content everyone likes to make, so we can pitch projects to the right people. And the viewers, I think, are really latching onto the group. And like the people who watch any single one of us kind of know who the other people are because we make so much content together.
Right.
So I think like the longer that we push the narrative of like, oh, we're friends, we play games, like we do Mario Kart and Smash, and we do things that aren't Pokemon related, but we also do all these Pokemon series, and like we do a podcast, we do X, Y, and Z. The more our collective groups of people that follow us individually get to know everybody else, and then we all kind of get to grow together, which I think is really nice and it's really fun, and it gives a lot of motivation to the rest of the group. Like I love seeing you guys grow, whether I'm growing or not. Like seeing like somebody get like a big jump in subscribers is just always so fun to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a huge point because when you're small and you're all trying to like kind of connect and do like the whole networking thing, it's really hard to grow, especially after you get like those first couple. But then like as we're all growing together and we're all hitting 3, 4, 5, all the way up to like 1,000 subs, I think right now. It like makes it a lot easier for everybody to grow because we're all feeding back into each other, and we've been doing it for so long now that the system has picked up on like, okay, these people work together, and they overlap here. So
Yep, it's awesome. I think it's fun. It's been so much fun being able to just like have like a group of people that like if I want to do a Pokemon collab or like I want to do some kind of video, like there's a built-in community now that I'm like, hey, I want to do this. Anybody want to do it with me? And like 9 times out of 10, someone will be like, yeah, let's do it. You know?
And it's even crazier because you think about it, like the one time we were playing Unite, Curse, West, Monk, Nick, and me, Short Tempered and Linz had raided or were fighting us in the game, and they knew everybody in our group.
wait, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of crazy.
That's
They
insane.
specifically pointed me out, but they knew of everybody.
Yeah, but you got like contacts with those people.
Exactly, yeah.
Or like people around them.
Yeah. I just known them the longest, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really cool.
It helps that like we also, whether or not like we're all like really consistent with content, because I mean like we all try our best, but we have lives and work and things happen. I think the fact that like there hasn't, at least from my perspective, in the last year, Pokemon YouTubers, it's been like the big boys and like nothing. Like
Yeah.
everything like from Pokemon, like I feel like it's only the new people I see on Pokemon are like people who stream it on Twitch, and that's it. Like YouTubers, it's like you watch Core 4 or you watch the like literally like the old dudes like A Drive and Shady Penguin, or there's like a bunch of people like us trying to like eat the fruit at the bottom of the barrel, trying to get those like trying to get those couple views and those subscribers here and there. But I can see when you take a step back and you look in the grand scheme of things in terms of like the content that we make versus the content that, no, I don't want to shade anybody because I don't really watch anyone's content besides, I'm going to be honest. It feels like we're really trying to not push the envelope, but like hit the level of quality that the bigger content creators are hitting, Whereas like some of the other people are just like, well, I'm just gonna make this video as fast as I can and hope people watch it. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the quality over quantity. You know,
Yeah.
Monk with your monkey brain.
Yeah, Monk.
Listen, if I can do quality and quantity at the same time, I guess I'm for that.
That's
Okay.
very difficult. But that's what causes burnout.
I mean, honestly, for me, it's just like the artwork. So, like, if I can get the artwork and the layout done, I feel like that's like the most for me. And like thumbnails,
that's true.
I just gotta work on. I just gotta work on that.
Speaking of that, I got to do one of those for me and Salty series.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Since we're like an hour into this, and I don't know if anyone's still going to be watching, I will spoil. Me and Salty are going to do a lockout.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Probably starting within the next like week or two, and we are doing with our block lock rules. So we're not doing their rules at all. We're just calling it a lockout and using the rules that we made up for our original series.
Nice.
So technically, me and Nick can spoil something too. We're doing a cage lock.
Ooh.
Ooh, double spoiler. I
What
got
game?
nothing.
What game? You got nothing.
I got nothing.
Fire and leaf green.
Okay, I got you. I think actually I don't want to say this because it's not my series, so I won't. Someone else might play that game.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I did though. By the time this goes out, this series that I am starting with West and Salty will be at least episodes 1, 2, and 3 will be out already actually, at least. And we're doing Gen Race, so you guys are core 4, right?
That's fun.
So it's gonna be a blast. So we're doing it by seasons though. So we're not gonna do like like a one continuous playthrough. Like we're gonna do like Gen 1, take a little bit of a break. Gen 2, take a little bit of a break, and so
that makes sense.
in between each like generation, the person who wins the last one can bring their starter with them. And then I'm gonna design a little crown that'll go next to their name. If they won Kanto, they'll get a little crown for Johto. So I think it's gonna be a blast. We recorded yesterday. It was so much fun. It's a little bit different than like a normal thing because we're gonna be playing every single generation. So yeah, go watch that if you're listening.
I'm waiting for somebody to do a gen race like that, but every generation you add a new person.
Oh
Oh,
my
boy.
god! Oh, the person who gets last gets kicked.
Yeah.
That would be so fun for IBA though. Oh my gosh, that'd be a blast.
That,
Interesting.
God, that sounds like something horrible to manage.
Sounds like
Oh, that'd be bad to manage, but it'd be fun.
That's fine. We'll just make Salty do it.
oh,
True.
Oof.
Well,
He
then it would
is
never
the
happen.
commissioner, so he say no. No, it would never happen.
boy.
Oh my goodness. We've been talking for over an hour. Do we
Yeah,
want to do
yeah.
trivia? Do we just want to make this like a nice like even cut? Like
We can do that, or we could end it with a quick free for all battle if you guys.
Yeah.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that. That sounds
Okay,
like
before we
fun.
get started, who's recording it?
I can. I'll stop my. So, because of some technical issues, we will not be putting the showdown at the end of this episode like I said we were going to. But if you are watching this episode of Critical Hit, I want to thank you very much. Things happened, so we took a hiatus from recording and posting, but we should be back and good to go starting with this weekend. So if you guys did enjoy yourself and you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, sub to the Critical Hit channel. I know we would all appreciate it very much. We enjoy talking to each other and making this content. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or wherever you might be finding it, make sure that you share it with a friend who likes content creation or Pokemon, because that's what this is all about. So, thank you guys again for checking this out. If you made it the whole way here, you're the best in the world, and I will see you later for the next episode of Critical Hit. Bye.